Hello everyone, Tina here for Queen & Co. I hope you're having a fabulous day. We are going to shake it up today using the Queen & Co. Surprise Party kit. This is a fully loaded kit, and I also want to mention that I do have the Surprise Party dies that create the backgrounds. These allow you to put the shakers anywhere because there's a backing for it. So let's take a look at the kit, and then we're going to jump in and create a couple of cards using it. Inside of the Queen & Co. Surprise Party kit is a sheet that tells you everything that's in the kit. There's some inspirational projects on the bottom, but on the reverse side it shows you how to create the birthday present. The cake is so fun. The balloons, the candle. You get a party hat. You get a birthday wishes window. And then there's also a scallop circle die that will be a perfect home for the slice of cake, the cupcake, or the small present here. There's lots loaded in here. I'm going to open up our package and take a look. This is the huge die set that you will get, and this has everything that I just mentioned, and you can see they're on the larger side, so perfect for creating backgrounds and not just shakers but any kind of element for your card project. Fully loaded. We have, of course, your shaker foams. You get 3 sheets, so you can actually create each one of your shakers 3 times, and then inside here are your acetate covers, so they're pre-die cut for you, which makes it really nice. This is a 4x6 stamp set, and there are some little snarky ones in here too that just made me smile. We have one that says, "Today is no day for some dumb salad." Sounds like my daughter completely, but I love that greeting. Wishing you a big slice of happiness today. So that is our Surprise Party stamp set. We also get a 6x6 mat stack, which is a double-sided paper pad. And you get 3 sheets of each pattern. So you have lots to choose from. Tone on tone, stripes, polka dots. These are all my favorite patterns. And this is a full paper pack that comes with our Surprise Party kit. And lastly, you get some toppings. Quite a few here. Looks like you get 6 toppings in a rainbow of color. And these are green, orange, pink. You get blue, red, and purple. They match the papers just beautifully. And that is everything. Don't forget your guide. That's everything in the Surprise Party kit. Fully loaded. Great. And I do want to mention one more thing, that I'm going to be using the backgrounds for our cards today. You don't necessarily need these, but again, if you want to make tags, if you want to create full backgrounds for your shakers, this is really nice to have. So I suggest this. And these will all be linked down in the description area if you want to head on over to Queen & Co. and check it out. Okay, let's jump in and pick out some pattern papers. For my first card, we're going to make a cake, and I picked out 3 pattern papers. Some bright cherry colors. We have some pink hearts, yellow polka dots, and we have like a lattice orange tone on tone sheet. Okay, we're going to start by die cutting out strips from, we're going to take this piece from my Foundations 3 die set. I'm going to die cut out 3 pieces with this. So we'll have 3 colorful strips. And then with my white cardstock, I'm going to be using this die to create a panel. Now while we're die cutting, I'm going to bring in my shaker element for my cake, which is this rectangle here. This is great to make a frame too. I'm going to die cut this out with my pink pattern paper. And we have the cake pedestal. I just love this. I thought we'd bring in a little glitz to our card today. So I'm bringing in some glittery cardstock. This is some silver glitter cardstock. And I will die cut out our cake plate with this. And for my candle flames, we have, I like that there's layerable elements. I'm going to take the small piece for my candle flame, and just using some yellow cardstock, I'm going to create 5 candles. So I'm going to die cut out 5 candle flames with my yellow. My yellow coordinates really good with the polka dots. And I'm going to take my candle and I'm going to die cut out 5 candles with my orange cardstock here. In our die set, we have some frosting. A little drizzle of frosting here. We actually have 2 pieces, and we have this piece. I'm going to take these 2 dies, and I want some chocolate frosting. So I want to bring in some brown cardstock, and I'm going to die cut out these 2 pieces with my brown cardstock. And lastly, I'm going to bring in my background dies. I'm going to use my rectangle that goes behind my cake, and I'm going to die cut out some pink pattern paper with that. I will run everything through my die cut machine and we will get busy on our first card. We're going to start, after everything is die cut, we're going to start by adding our flames to our candle. I'm just going to use my glue and add a little dot of glue on the top of my orange, and we're going to just layer our flames. The fun thing is these flames have stitched detail. How fun is that? And our candles are all done. Before we put our cake together, I'm going to bring in my finger dauber and some ground espresso ink. And I'm just going to add some dark ink to the very bottom of my chocolate icing. I'm going to go ahead and take my icing and add my candles right now, just to make things a little bit easier. So I'm going to flip it over, and just using my glue, I'm going to add some glue behind here, and then I can add my candles behind my icing, and then we can sandwich them on my cake. Kind of want them a little wonky. So there's our candles. We're going to build our shaker. So I do have my acetate that goes with my cake. I'm going to go ahead and take my foam. We're just going to punch this out. I'm going to add some glue behind here. Place this on in the center of my panel that we created. I just want to make sure that my candles aren't overhanging. And I think that's going to work out great. We'll adhere this, and then I'll take my foam. We're going to remove the release paper and just place this right over the background. And now we're going to remove the release paper, and then we can add our toppings. I thought we would we're going to use the red, the orange, and the pink. And then I'm also going to bring in some of these clear toppings also. We're going to give it a lot of shake. So we're going to pour some in here. Next I'll take my acetate, and we're just going to cover up that cake layer. Give it a good shake. And you can fill this as much as you want, as much or as little. Okay, I'm going to use my glue. We're not going to use this piece today, but I'm going to use my glue, and I'm going to add this over my cake. And then we have our cake pedestal. I'm going to add some glue at the very top, and then I'm also going to take the leftover foam. I'm going to cut a thin strip and put it at the very bottom. Okay, we'll tack this down right under our cake here. And then we can add our frosting. I'm going to flip it over and just add a thin bead of glue at the very top, going over those candles. And if you wanted to secure the candles with some foam tape, you could do that. But I think they're thin enough to where they'll float just fine on their own. And we're going to tack this down. And then we're going to add a little more icing with this piece here. I'm just going to add a thin bead of glue, and we are going to add this at the very top of our icing here. Nice thing about glue is there's wiggle room. And that is our cake. So much fun. Okay, Let's go ahead and stamp our greeting. For my greeting, we're going to stamp, "Today is no day for some dumb salad." I just think that speaks to me. So let's take some black ink. I'm using VersaFine. It's a nice dark black ink. I'm going to stamp this on some white cardstock. I'm going to use my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim this out. Okay, now for my card, I have a card base. I created a card base, and then using one of my embossing folders, I embossed this. I embossed the front of my card. I thought we needed just a little some texture in the background. So any kind of embossing folder you have would work great. And then I'm going to use these 3 strips, and we're going to go straight across. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap because I think I'm going to put some of that same silver glitter cardstock in between the 2 here. So we'll adhere this, leaving a little bit of a gap. And then I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to trim away anything that's overhanging. And I'm moving up my strips of pattern paper just a little bit. We'll just tack these down. And we have a little bit of sparkle here. And then I'm going to take my panel. I put adhesive behind it. I'm going to tack this down right in the center. A little more glue here. And lastly, I added a few bullseye to my card project, a little extra sparkle. These are the orange ones from Queen & Co. I don't think Queen & Co. has these anymore, but I'll leave a link down below to something comparable that would work great with this card project. But that will finish off this card. A little shake. We're going to jump into our next card. I went ahead and did my die cutting using the same pattern papers that we used for our first card project. We're going to make 2 cupcakes this time, and for our shaker element we're going to be using this. I'm not going to need the inside because I did use the background die that's the same size as our acetate to go behind it. And then I did trim down a piece of the glitter cardstock to fit right behind it. And then we have this pattern paper using the Foundations 3 die set, the largest rectangle in that set. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the front of my card base. For this card, we're going to create a landscape card. And then I have 2 half-inch strips and then a thin strip of the silver cardstock. We're going to go ahead and add some strips of pattern paper over here. These are 4 1/4 inches wide, so it's going to go the length of my card base. Okay, we're just going to overlap these, and I'm leaving about maybe 1 inch from the left side, and then I'm going to use my glue and add a little bit of glitter. And we'll just tack this down. I'm going to go ahead and create the cupcakes. I went ahead and ink blended a little bit of that ground espresso over the top. And we're just going to layer that right on the cupcake liner here. And our cupcakes are good to go. Now to create the shaker, I'm going to take my background. I'm going to add some adhesive behind here. And I'm going to layer this in the center of that glitter cardstock because I know that's where my shaker is going to be. And then we're going to bring back our foam elements. And we'll punch this out. We'll remove the inside piece, take the backing off, and we'll adhere this right. I'm leaving my shaker white for this card because we have a lot of colors going on. This is going to go right over the backing. And I'm going to go ahead and flip this around. And then before we add our toppings, I'm going to go ahead and place this on my card base. We're going to place it about 1/2 inch from the left. And a little bit of red. Gonna do a little mixing with this. I'm gonna remove the release paper. I'm going to add my acetate. Give it a little bit of a shake. Next, I'll take my frame and I'm going to add some glue behind here. And we're going to tack this down. And then I went ahead and stamped my greeting and trimmed it out. We're going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to tuck it underneath. Actually, we need to trim a little off here. And I think the bullseyes are going to work great as embellishments for the cupcakes. So I'm just going to add a few. And again, I'll leave a substitute down below in the description area. And I think we're missing something up here in this corner. So I'm going to bring back my die set. And this is meant for the party hat, the little pom-pom. But it's great for accenting your card. So I'm going to take that and a piece of that silver cardstock. And I'm going to die cut out 2 of the pom-poms with my silver glitter cardstock. So this is what they look like. Really super fun. I'm going to add some glue behind here. And we're just going to add a couple behind our cupcakes for a little added sparkle. And that will finish that card. I am going to do one more thing with both of my cards. Since we have the brown, to break it up a little bit, I'm going to bring in my white gel pen. And I'm going to add a little cut. I'm going to add a little highlighting with this. But that will finish my card today using the Queen & Co.'s Surprise Party Kit. I hope you get a chance to check it out. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll see you soon.